Hey there gardeners, Chris here from Steading, and I wanted to talk about a really important point with gardening, and particularly vegetable gardening I would say, which is you are going to fail. And that might sound really negative, but the reality is that not everything you do is going to work. Now some of it may be environmental, if you want to blame external factors, some of it may be internal, so it's you doing something wrong, and between that combination of things, not everything you try is going to work unless you do ridiculous amounts of research and are really, basically you don't take any risks. And I don't think there's any fun in that. Now, a good example of this here is my purple cabbages. So these actually look amazing. The plants look amazing, but we never got any cabbages. And again, I've obviously done something wrong there. My thought is that there's just not enough sunlight here. This garden, while in spring and summer gets lots and lots of light, during winter, and it was our first winter in this area, yeah, it did not get a lot of light, and some things really did not go well. So our cabbage, I'm gonna have to chop this down. I'm probably gonna just chop and drop and hopefully get some of this nutrients back into this garden bed. And it's been quite the failure because most of this garden bed has been used by the cabbage. The only other thing we have in here, and I always forget the name of this, well, it's not that yellow zucchini sign that I just pulled out. This is a Brussels sprouts plant, and so I've quite jealously been seeing all these people post their amazing Brussels sprout results. I don't even like them to eat, to be honest. Maybe that's a reflection of not having good ones, but I don't even really care about eating them. But I've seen so many people with these growing really well, getting obviously the Brussels sprouts going down the main stem. Really cool. Mine's just sitting there, and it's been a very slow grower. It hasn't produced any Brussels sprouts. Maybe it will. We'll give it some more time, unlike the cabbages, which are just going to come out. But despite my best efforts, these cabbages have been a total waste of time, which is unfortunate. But let's have a look at my other really big failure. So obviously these plants behind me look super impressive, and I don't know if you can identify them. These are meant to be broccoli, and yeah, this is what I got. Apparently you can eat the broccoli leaves, and that's probably what we should have done. We should have focused on basically just using the greens from this plant. Or I guess broccoli is green as well, but we should have focused on using the leaves because we just got nothing out of this entire bed. And I set up the bed specifically to do broccoli. Maybe it was a mistake to put mainly broccoli in the bed. There is some oregano growing in the corner as well. However, we really had no broccoli growth at all. We had a tiny little head that went to seed on the bigger plant that we put in originally. But again, I think not enough sunlight, probably even less sunlight than that bed over there for the cabbages. And a pretty enormous failure, particularly considering we bought seedlings. We didn't really get anything back on these because we didn't use the leaves in our food, which is what we should have done. And yeah, this has been another big failure. Now, my thoughts on this one are, again, I'll try the same kind of thing in a location next winter, but it's going to be in a much sunnier spot so that hopefully I can take advantage of like a better location to hopefully grow my own broccoli. Do I eat that much broccoli? Well, we probably buy one a week, which is a couple of dollars worth. Do I think I'm going to keep myself in stock growing it? No, but I'd like to be able to grow broccoli, even if I don't particularly care about it. And maybe broccolini might be a better thing to grow because certainly my wife loves the broccolini over the broccoli. So maybe something that we enjoy eating a little bit more might be a better option. But another failure here, and certainly one that I guess we've discovered one thing we can't grow in this corner or in this little garden bed here. But at the same time, I'm not 100% sure what caused the failure. I have a couple of suspects, and yeah, I would probably put the sunlight, so my poor choice of location, down as the main one, but there could be other factors that I don't know about yet, which are causing issues and causing the failure. Now, it's obviously a bit of a downer just to be thinking about absolute failures, and I guess this section of the garden here is probably a pretty good place to talk about it. This is my asparagus bed. It has come good. I was quite worried that my crowns on this end of the garden bed really had not survived winter. However, they've both popped up, and they're looking really good. My other asparagus are looking even better, so they've done even better than the crowns. And probably a good way of like kind of talking about this is I've got this one massive crown, or massive fern really at this point. It's no longer a spear of asparagus coming up here, and I've got another one which has decided to pop up out of the ground, and then it's tried to grow back down. So to be honest, I really don't know what prompted that spear to decide that it was going to grow straight back down into the ground. That is a huge waste, very, very disappointing. Maybe we'll try and stick a stick under it to prop it up a little bit, but that one's not going anywhere. So even in the midst of this really good success from my asparagus garden, we're still seeing some failures. On a similar point, behind me here, we've actually got these chili plants which overwintered in the garden. It was mild enough, and I think that's going to be the norm where we are. It was mild enough to overwinter our chili plants in the garden. I think they're habaneros, to be honest, like a mild habanero, and they've turned into these nice big chili trees. We're not seeing any chilies growing on them just yet, but I'm really, really hopeful. We do have another little small chili here with little red chilies on it, and that is covered in chilies once again. It's got heaps of blooms, and again, that's another overwintered one. So some surprising successes there alongside the failures in things that I really didn't expect at all.